Hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the Humble Scholar, and please do subscribe my channel. It won't take more than 5 seconds. So today we are going to discuss the concept of democracy, like what is democracy, what's the general concept of democracy. We will also look at its types, what are its kinds, and what are the three aspects of democracy. So let's get going. The basic concept of democracy. So the word democracy is derived from the two Greek words. The first one is demos, which means the people, and the second one is kratos, which means the rule. So if we combine the terminology, it means the rule of the people. So in general terms, when we talk about the government, we can say democracy as the rule of many, and when we say as representative government, we will say democracy is a rule of the majority. So the most famous description of democracy given by Abraham Lincoln, you would be familiar with it. It's the government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Government by the people in a sense that people elect their representatives, of the people in a sense that the elected representatives are among the common people, and it's for the people because the state it's underlines the concept that the state and the government exists for the people and not the people for the state. So it's government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Another philosopher, given that Bryce said that democracy is a form of government in which the ruling power of the state is vested not in any particular class, not in any privileged class, but in members of the whole community. And amongst the members of the whole community, the will of the community is sought by the will of the majority. It's because it's the government by the majority. When majority of the people elect a certain person, then it means the community wants that person to govern the people. What else we can say is that democracy is the right to share in the exercise of the sovereign power. Sovereign power is actually the authority. So the people have a share in the authority of the government or the state. And we also say that it's the governing body is actually a small fraction of a larger nation. This is what Dicey has said. But if we see the concept of Aristotle abhorred democracy. He wasn't in favor, and he said democracy as the rule of mob, which we will discuss in the demerits of democracy. Now, what are the types? Now we divide the types of democracy into three major types on the basis, the criteria that is on the basis of the democratic institutions, the practices, and the values that exist in a certain country or a state. Now these democratic institutions and practices and values are different, there are the opposition parties, whether there are opposition parties present or not, there should be majority rule, and such a majority rule that the rights of the minority are not are not suppressed or not culminated. And what else is that there is free press, there is freedom of expression given to the media, given to the people, there is equality in the society, and there is a constitutional government, there is a responsible government, and what else is that there are fundamental rights of the people, and there are no discrimination, there are no social, economic, or cultural discrimination based on certain gender, sex, or religion, or caste, or creed. So this is what democratic institutions, practices, and values are all about. Right now, what are the full democracies? The full democracies are the democracies in the countries where there are all these democratic institutions, practices, and values exist, which I have briefly described already. So in UK, US, and Sweden, that is Switzerland, we see full democracies functional. Semi-democracies are the democracies in which there are certain democratic institutions and also some autocratic practices and values are also present in those countries. So like Pakistan and India, etc. Because in Pakistan we see there is not so much freedom of expression and freedom of press, or responsible government, or there are no free elections, free and fair election. There are generally usually we see there are allegations of rigging. So in such a sense we cannot accord Pakistan as full democracy. It's a semi-democracy. Now, regarding the pseudo democracies, are the democracies which are styled and named as democracies, but actually they are dictatorships. They are not democracies. The people's democracies in Stalin's Russia, we saw that it was the dictatorship by Stalin, and it was not a democracy where the people were suppressed. There were no opposition parties, etc. And what else is that the coup d'etat by Ayub in Pakistan, which was regarded as democracy but it was actually a dictatorship. So these were the three types: full democracies, semi-democracies, and pseudo-democracies. Regarding the kinds of democracies, now there are two major kinds. Number one is the direct or pure democracy, and the second one is indirect or representative democracies. So first of all is the direct or pure democracy. It's the kind of democracy where people can directly express their will on the public issues and through their in a mass assembly directly, rather than through representatives. Now in such a case the representatives are not selected. All the people gather in a mass assembly at a certain place where the people decide about the public affairs, where the people elect the public officials, where the people make their own laws. So it's all about the people directly participating. And it's not possible in the larger countries, obviously, because it's not physically possible that the whole population of the country gathers at one place. So it's suitable for the small population and size of the countries. We have examples here. In the past, we had the Greek city-state, that was the Athenian democracy, one of the most famous democracies in the past. Athenian democracy, where the people used to directly participate. And the second one is in the modern day we see the Sweden democracy in small cantons, which is Switzerland Sweden Confederation, where the small cantons are the member states. Here we can see in the picture also where the people directly on Sunday afternoons they gather together and legislate and discuss the public issues and make the policies. Second one is the indirect or representative direct democracy. As the name suggests that it's the representative direct democracy and it's indirect, it means the will of the people is formulated and expressed through the representatives to make laws, to govern the country. So it's indirect, it's not participatory. Democracy, it's a representative democracy. And in such democracy, such type of democracy also accepts the sovereignty of the people, the authority of the people, just like the direct democracy. But here, the people assert this sovereignty, this authority through their representatives, elected representative. Such kind of democracy can be made functional and made possible by universal franchise, where everyone has been given the right to vote, where there is popular electorate, where there is majority government, where there is responsible government, where the responsibility of the government is maintained, is made possible, and also that it's made sure that the representatives reflect the will of the people who have elected them. So in the earlier days, the advocates of the democracy wanted that the government officials, even judges or what else, the legislators, that were the lawmakers, judges or governors, etc., should be elected through elections. However, in the modern day democracy, we did not see this case, where only the MNAs, MPAs, or in America there are senators and lower house members who are elected, not the judges or governors. So there have been certain criticism until recently on the indirect democracy, but this criticism can be redeemed, and the indirect democracy can be reformed by the devices of the direct democracy. And what were the devices? Certain devices. This is referendum, initiative, and recall. Now we might be wondering, what is referendum, initiative, and recall? So one liner definition of referendum would be where the government put to vote a certain law that has been passed by its legislature, and now the government wants to know the opinion of the people over the law. So there would be a referendum. In case of an initiative, the people themselves will conduct a vote or and propose the government a certain law or a policy that they will propose or suggest to the government that such a certain policy or a law should be adopted by the government. And the recall is where the people vote to express their opinion on a certain government official, that whether that official should continue his duties or not. Now, regarding the aspects of democracy, there are three aspects: economic aspect, political aspect, and social aspect. First of all is political aspect. Now, regarding the political aspect of the democracy, is that there is a sovereignty of people. The people are given political rights and liberty. Regarding the political rights and liberty, political rights will be the right to vote, the right to hold public office, and the right to stand for election. And regarding the liberty is the freedom to association, freedom to make party, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. Such freedoms, freedom to participate in the political affairs, such are the things, the rights that are advocated and promulgated by the concept of democracy. So the political aspect of democracy forms the state and government as democratic. Regarding economic democracy, economic aspect of the democracy is that there will be a democratic society. It will make the society democratic. Now, the rule is that from each according to his capacity, to each according to his need. What does this line infer is that everyone will work according to their capabilities, according to their capacity, and will be provided with wealth according to their needs. It's an idea of the communist society. Such conditions or economic system exist in communist society, where there is an equal distribution of wealth among the people, where there is no inequalities, and where the basic rights of the people to work, to wage, to layer, to enjoy their life to the fullest or accepted and acknowledged. Social aspect is that the social aspect of democracy is that there is social justice and equality in the society, where the people are not discriminated on the basis of their color, caste, creed, on their wealth, but people mingle with each other equally, abolishing all kinds of discrimination. We see that if the people are genial, they are friendly, they are good mixers, this is where the social democracy will flourish. And we see that such a kind of indiscriminatory attitude is found in truly Islamic society, where people see each other as just men or persons, and there is no discrimination. They are not seen as according to their place of birth, according to their status, or according to their wealth. So this was all about the social aspect. For the merits of democracy, please see my next lecture. Thank you.